Hey guys, I'm Sherry Criswell and I'm on here doing an impromptu live. For me, that works better. Don't give myself time to chicken out.
I'm Sherry Criswell.
And of course, let me turn down the sound. Okay, I'm still not sure how to get comments, but actually, I have a picture this time, so I'm doing better than I did the last time. If I don't see your comments now, I'll check them later, and I will definitely get back with you if you have any questions. Anyway, today, I thought I'd work on my reclaimed drawer, which, according to the catalog, is supposed to be a one-time surface. However, nothing's one-time surface, almost nothing. For me, you can figure it out and reuse it, which I'm going to do today, and I'll show you in just a bit. The reclaimed transfer, or the drawer, is in the catalog. It's a 6x18, and it's a rustic wood drawer. And I had this up in my kitchen, and it had a retired transferred on it. Let's see, what did it say? Baked fresh daily, which made a really cute sign in my kitchen, but I kept looking at it thinking, that doesn't fit me. I don't bake fresh daily. If it said craft daily, yeah, that would be me. But I have another transfer I want to try that I think will customize for me much better than the baking. So, and that one is Good Eats. We do have Good Eats, and it's not just me. I mean, my husband and I both cook. Our kids, when they come home, they cook. So we usually have Good Eats here. So this will fit. So that's what I'm going to use. And I'm going to use it on this reclaimed drawer. Now I'm going to try and put this on here so you can see at least the majority of it. Yeah, this is what I'm going to be talking right here. Now, what I had, I took it and I wet it down with this. Let it sit for just a little bit. And I scraped the chalking that I had on there before. Took it off with a towel. And then used a wipe. And I also used our board eraser. This stuff is great, by the way. I even use some for cleaning stains around the house. So, and it's chemical free. This stuff is nice. It works like a magic eraser without the chemicals. So that's cool. Anyway, it left, I had the color of chalk I used was bark. And it'd been on there. I don't know if it was a year, it could have been a year. And our bark is like a milk chocolate color, but apparently it has some red in it, or pink. Because after I went through and did all that, it left a faint color of the design in like a pink. So after I did all that, I took it and hand sanded it down, and then I just took some paint over it. Just quickly put paint over it, because I want it to be distressed. I don't want it to be a perfect solid white paint. So this is where we're at. Now we're going to have to take it and we're going to have to wax it. So I'm going to use this surface wax. I'm going to move this over for a minute though, so I can move this out of the way and give me a little bit more chalking room. And we don't need a scraper anymore. So now this only one-time surface is going to be used twice. Now, I like to wax on here whenever you paint or wood, since it's very porous. It'll help so your transfers are not going to be picking up. I don't know if I want to use this. Transfers will not be picking up the paint that you put on it. You don't want that on your transfers, and you don't want to pull your paint off either. So that's why I wax it. It's good for your surface and your transfer. So just take some on a rag. You could even use a paper towel. And you put it on, and this wax is, this is our wax. It's clear, as you can see, and it's odor free. So that's nice. If you're doing it in the house, like now in Florida, it's 93 degrees. It's hot. And I don't want to do this out in the garage. So I'm doing it in the house, and it doesn't smell at all. It's pretty nice. All right, you get this on here, and you just kind of buff it in. Get it ready to chalk on it. All right, let me put this over to the side. You can also use Minwax, and I think there's one other one. Use a natural color. They also have it do in a darker color, so if you want to antique it, dirty it up a little bit more, you can use that too. It just depends on the look you're going for. I like distressed, slightly worn look, a little bit, but I still like it kind of fresh. So let me put this aside, and we'll get the transfer ready. All right, on the back of all transfers, for anybody watching this and you're not familiar, this one's called Good Eats, but on the back we have the use and care, and it also comes in this plastic envelope like, and I keep it in this envelope and I store it in this. And if you have drawers that this will fit, I put them flat in a drawer. And some of the really big ones that won't fit in there, I use this hanger part to hang them up in the closet. Because I've kind of inherited the extra bedroom, and it's my craft room now. Okay, now the first thing I do here, there's cutting lines. These lines right here are your cutting lines, and since this transfer, it's sticky and it's reusable. So we want to put it back correctly. There are two sides to the backer sheet. There is the glossy side and the flat side. You want to make sure the sticky part of the transfer goes back to the glossy part. Otherwise, you're going to have trouble getting it off of this side. So what I also do is I mark the back. So in case you're not paying attention, if it's got writing on it, don't put it on that side. Put it on the other side. Now you can just plain cut across this. But the hardest part for me is putting this transfer back on the backer sheet. So this is what I do. I take a ruler and my scissors. This is one of our scissors too. It's really nice. It doesn't, you can't keep glue on it. Comes right off. but I use it pretty much only for these transfers. So I take this ruler and I just take the scissors down across it, and I leave a little bit more space so I have a little bit of room to work on it, to put it back on the backer. See, and then what I do is, if I cut it enough, I messed up a bit. Alright, let's try from this way. And just pull it. Probably should have cut that one side a little bit more. And that's going to give me a little bit of extra room when I go to put it back on. So let's see. Well, I guess I'm going to have to do them all because I want to use most of these today. So you just score it on both sides of the cutting line. Just make sure you don't go into the netting. And see, all the part that's white is your netting. And I'll show you what that's like. If you can see it. Well, let's cut this part first. Should have music in the background, something. Okay. All right, if you can see that this part right here is your silk screen netting, and that is what plus this is sticky, so it's not going to seep in underneath as easily as, like, say, a stencil. That's your silk screen netting on there. And since I cut this, it's much easier, the way I scored it, to put this back on. You'll know what I mean if you have some of these trying to get that back on there. I don't know why, but that was the hardest part for me. All right, now let's do one more score, and then we'll get busy doing this drawer. Now we're going to mark the back, like I said, and I'm going to make this 1, 2, 3, and 4. One, 2, and 3, and 4. All right, so now you know this is the back side, and this is the glossy side. All right, the next thing is to get your transfer off of the backing. And this is the first time I have used this transfer. So I want to fuzz it. And all that means is I want to take a little bit of the stickiness off, depending on the surface. Now, if you're putting this on a non-porous like glass or mirror, it's really going to adhere to it. So you got to really fuzz it a lot. But this one's going on wood, so I don't think I'm going to have too much problems with it. But I think I might fuzz it just a couple of times. If you don't, you might have a hard time pulling it off, and it could start to curl around the edges. So that's why we do that. And if you don't have this towel, you could use your t-shirt, even jeans, or a regular towel. Just fuzz it up a little bit so it's not quite as sticky. Now, what did I do in my drawer? Here it is. Okay. I'm going to put this my ruler away. Make sure you can see this. Like, it's almost like it was perfect size for here. Yeah, you can see most of it. Sorry, that's the way I have to put my phone up and down. Just lightly smooth with your hands. Make sure there's no bubbles in there, because if you do, that's when the ink can go underneath. All right, now I am going to use our black velvet, and this is one of our new Creamy Dreamy chalk paste. It is really, really nice. All of our paste now has been reformulated, and it's this really nice stuff. So much better to work with. Okay, so just get it on your transfer. Get your squeegee, and we have a whole bunch of different kinds. We have this, which is like, I call it a hockey stick. And I'll tell you a little bit more about those different ones later. We have the angle squeegee. We have the small and the minis. I almost always use the small, even when it's bigger areas like this. I just have better control over it. So you just take it and spread it along. You just want to make sure you cover all the silk screening. Screening. Is that right? Anyway. Just get all those white areas covered. Just stay on the transfer. Don't go off. Now, if you were on a chalkboard, and this is paste, which can be temporary, depending on the surface you're doing it on. Now, we did wax, so if you did make a mistake, or if I made a mistake, I could probably clean it off right away. And then if you saw me, I just took a line, evened it all out. Because if there is a line from your squeegee, it's going to show up if you don't remove it. Plus, you don't want to take all that excess and wash it down the drain. You want to put it back in your jar, which I did, because you can still use it. Now, pull it up, not on the bias, on the straight edge, side to side or top to bottom. Pull it slowly, straight up. so that if you miss something, you can put it back down and fix it before you take it off completely. Ta-da! That's so good. Okay, I'm going to take this and put it back on my backer sheet. And then right after this live, I'm going to go wash it. You really don't want to leave it on there too long. Now, before, our paste would take about 4 minutes to dry. And what it does, well, you saw, it's a paste. Not exactly liquid, but like a yogurt consistency. A little bit thicker maybe now. But it dries hard. And once it's dry, you can rub it. It will not come off. But it's activated with water. So if you want to take it off, that's what you do, is spray water on it. And not just spray water, but you're going to have to use some elbow grease too to wipe it off. Which is kind of nice, because if you have that in the kitchen where you got a lot of water going on and different liquids, that you don't have to worry about it. You know, it's fine. I have a Lazy Susan on my kitchen table. It's been there. I just keep re-chalking it. I painted it in a black chalk paint. And it's there all the time, no problem. Works good. Okay. This is just, well, it's an embossing gun, but it's a heat gun. I just want to dry this a little bit. And then I might put this aside. And do one other thing. I still want to put something right down here, but I want to give this a little bit more time to dry. So while we're doing that, I'm going to put this aside. And I'm going to take this box frame. Now this is our 5x7 box frame. It's double-sided. So I'm going to use this side. And I'm going to make something to go with this drawer. And I do want to wax this again. So let me get this. This really good. One thing that's nice about lives is that I don't have to edit it. It takes me a while to edit some things, but some things just work out better edited. People don't always have all the time that lives take to watch. Of course, if you watch the replay, you can speed it up if you don't have the time to spend on it. Okay, now on this one, I want to put this on first. Right about there. I am going to fuzz this. So it doesn't seem too terribly sticky, so it should be good. kind of center it. You can measure it, of course, but I always just kind of eyeball it. Sometimes it's good, sometimes not so much. All right, again, smooth it down with your hand, get the bubbles out of there. And I'm going to do this one in Storm. Now this is not one of our creamy, dreamy pastes. This is an older one, but it's in pretty good shape. So we'll see how it does. I'm going to get it a little bit smaller. Now sometimes what I do is I take these squeegees and I cut them into smaller ones, so I have smaller shapes. Then I will put this on here. Take the squeegee and just squeegee it on. I have way more paste here than what I'm going to need. So let's put some of this back. And I put too much back. You want to make sure you got all the white, all the netting covered. And then take off your excess. Make sure you don't have any lines like right there. I'm going to take that off. Okay, that all looks pretty, maybe here. That all looks pretty good. Put the extra back in the jar. Alright, let's pull this up. Yes, that's pretty cool, right? Okay, now we're gonna have to let that dry. So put this back on the backer to wash later. Not too later, though. I'll do it right after I get through with this line. All right, now on this transfer, I have Serve Daily and Tips Welcome. One of these I'm going to put on the large drawer, and one of these I'm going to put across this fork and spoon. I think maybe Tips, I don't know, Tips Welcome and Serve Daily on the drawer. I don't know. All right. I'm going to dry this a little bit, but then we're going to go back to the other one and finish the drawer. And with these box frames, you can paint the inside and the frames too if you want to. I know I have some of the 5x5 I did at Christmas time, and I did them, the background I did in reds and greens. You can do whatever you want with that. Now this is actually an embossing gun from my card making days. We do have a gun. It's this teal color. It's a drying gun, and it works really well, and it's not very noisy. I just don't have that right now. There's too many other things I need. So you can use a hairdryer too, just for drying this, if you want to speed it up. Truthfully, when I'm not on a live, I just let it dry naturally. Take my time, do something else, and come back to it. Now, kind of while we're waiting, let me show you some of these squeegees. All right, like this, hockey stick. I think it's called multi-purpose tool. It has a small squeegee on one side to get in those little areas. But this part, the hockey stick part, is more of cleaning off the sides of the jar. Get that off of there. Because all this stuff that gets stuck on the side, it dries out. That'll dry out faster. So if you take this and you just take it along the side like that, that's the purpose of it. And then you can just scrape it back and down into the middle of your jar. And there you go. Then I usually take a paper towel or a wipe, and I'll get the edges. That way you can close it and seal it much better. It'll probably last a lot longer for you. Now this one, before I put it away, I would spray a squirt of water in it and put the top on. That was with the old one. I'm not real sure if you really have to do that with the new stuff or not, but that worked with the old one. But I'm going to use this one more time, so I'm just going to leave that as is. And then we have the Handle Squeegee. This is the new one. You have all the different angles. But like our old one, I wasn't too fond of this at first, but I'm left-handed, and I think it's, I don't know, I think it's meant for right-handers. So I use this side. It just works best for me. I don't know. I don't like, anyway, like I said before, the small squeegee is my favorite. But a lot of people like this, so we just have a whole bunch of different kinds so that you can pick the ones that work the best for you. I'm looking for this one. This is the big handle squeegee, which is great for only one color on big areas. However, I have seen this too, where they just unscrewed this and they take the handle off and they just use the squeegee. I think I would like that better. I might try that. So we have lots of different kinds and different tools that work pretty good. All right, I'm going to put this up here for now and bring the drawer back. Let me see. Make sure you can still see this. All right, so maybe move it over just a little bit more. Which one to put on there? Serve daily or tips welcome? I think serve daily. And then I'll use tips welcome on the silverware. Again, I want to fuzz this. Yeah, this one is a lot stickier. Let's try it on this side. You can't see what, can you see what I'm doing? Okay. Again, you could do this on your t-shirt. Or a terry cloth towel. Just look at it before you put it on there. Make sure you don't have any big clumps of anything by the silk screen transfer, because that'll block it, the paste from, or ink, whatever you're using, from going through. Okay, I think that's dry. if it's not dry, what the sticky stuff will do when it gets on there is pull it up. So make sure it's dry. Patience works the best. And like I said, when I'm at home, I don't think I'm going to put the lines on there, but I am going to just do the serve daily on here, and I'm going to do that in gray. Now my kitchen is a lot of browns and blacks and silvers, so I have just a touch of color, which is red and yellow. Just a little bit, not a lot. So I'm doing this in black and gray, and the gray silverware, I'm gonna do the same on there in red, just a little bit of color. But that's what's cool about this, is you can customize this however you like to make it go in your home. You can also make these for gifts for people. You can do a business if you want and sell finished goods, or sell the transfers if you're a designer. And they have the monthly Club Couture. It's a subscription. So if you're interested in any of those things, just comment below. And again, I'm just pulling it up slowly. And there we go. That part is done. All right. Yay. I like that. Now that'll look good in my kitchen. All right. Now, let's take this. I'm going to dry it some more, just in case it's not dry. Just to make sure, because I'm going to put it right across. And then after you heat it up, you want to make sure that it cools down, because the board can get pretty warm. Get back to room temperature before you put anything on it. Okay, that actually feels pretty dry, but I want it to get to room temperature. And I need a smaller squeegee even, so I'm going to take one of these that I cut up for that. Go back to my towel. Okay. And again, I don't think I'm going to put those lines on there. I'm just going to do the tips welcome. Now the red I'm using is from Christmas time. It was good paste, but it's not brand new and it's not the creamy dreamy, but it was really in pretty good shape, as you can see right here. Okay. All right. I think that's about where I want it. I'm just lightly going to smooth that down. Make sure there's no bubbles. And I'm going to take a squeegee. And I just want to, it's not like a paintbrush, pretty much almost straight up and down. I almost did the line. Wasn't paying attention, like I said I was not going to do. And just squeegee the paste on. It's that easy. All right, let me make sure I got plenty on there. Right, and pull it up slowly, side to side. There we go. Okay, that's it, guys. Get this all out of the way. So I have the Good Eats and Tips Welcome. What do you think? I like it. I like it a lot. Now, when you go to clean the transfer, you take it off of the backing, put it in your sink under the running water, about cool to room temperature water, not warm and not cold. And you can just take it with your hands, get the majority of that off, and then you can take your board eraser and it'll take most everything off. Now you might have some staining, like the black and the red can stain this pretty good, but it stains the outside, which does not hurt the teal part at all. You want to make sure it gets out of the netting. It's pretty sturdy, but still, you don't want any sharp objects on the netting part. So you clean the front and the back, and then I take Lysol wipes on the sticky side. Well, you can do it on both sides. But if you do it on the sticky side, it helps restore the stickiness, because when it's wet, it loses its stickiness. So as it dries, it comes back. So turn it over, sticky side up, on like a paper towel. When it's wet, you can't always tell. So the sticky side is usually the darker side. And then when it's all dry, put it back on this backer. Sticky side transfer to the shiny side of the backer. All right. Cool project today. Can't wait to get that up in my kitchen. Now, one more thing I wanted to show you. Our Club Couture for this month, for May, is this one. What is it called? Sweet Lemon Grove. And it has a squeeze for the day. And this in home. I use this, I know I showed you in the beginning where I did the wood burning. Yes, you could do wood burning with our transfers, and you can do etching. I have some videos coming up. I'll show you how. This is wood burning. I put our transfer on here and put some gel on there and did wood burning. Watch for the video, guys. It's pretty awesome. All right, that's it for today. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks, everybody. Bye.